Have you found yourself wondering what Omaha's like? Are you considering a move to Omaha? This video is going to talk about all things Omaha. My name is Morgan Putnam. I am a realtor here in Omaha. Let's get into it. This video is going to start with just talking about the cold hard facts. We'll get into some census data, and then we'll go into more subjective, what Omaha is really like living here. The median household income, and this is for a household of 4 people, is $81,000. There are 985,000 people that live in the Omaha metro area. So Omaha is a great mid-sized city, and it offers basically all of the amenities of a mid-sized city. Omaha is the largest city in Nebraska by a lot, and so people from the small towns throughout Nebraska come into Omaha for a lot of different needs. The median home price for a house in Nebraska is $280,000, and 66% of homes are owner occupied. 93% of people in Omaha have a high school diploma, and just over 40% have a bachelor's degree. This is about 10% higher than the national average. Omaha has incredibly low unemployment at only 3%. This is great. It means Omaha has a super strong economy, and people talk about Omaha's strong economy all the time. Omaha is home to 70,000 remote workers. This is around 13.6% of all workers in Omaha are remote workers, and they make on average $78,000 a year. This is a great option for people living in Omaha. If your industry is very specific and it doesn't necessarily have a brick and mortar office building here in Omaha, is still a great place to be able to do remote work. It's a great cost of living here in Nebraska, and so you can make quite a bit more on those salaries that are maybe headquartered on the coast, but then live in a more affordable place in Nebraska. Insurance makes up a huge part of the economy in Nebraska. It's a huge driver and employer here. We have Mutual of Omaha, Physicians Mutual, National Indemnity Company, Pacific Life. We have a Blue Cross Blue Shield. We just have a lot of different insurers here in Omaha, and that is, it brings in a lot of talent into the Omaha area, and it is a big part of our economy. We are also obviously based in an agricultural state, and so Omaha does have a lot of ag influence as well. There are a couple of meatpacking plants in the Omaha metro area, but the majority of them are in the small towns outside of Omaha. But it's not just meatpacking, it's also all of the different industries that support the farm economy. A lot of them are headquartered here in Omaha. We also have a lot of hospitals in Omaha. We have CHI, we have a Methodist, and University of Nebraska Medical Center. These are huge employers in Omaha and a big part of our economy. Because Omaha is the largest city in Nebraska, we get a lot of the folks from small towns who need medical care, specific medical care, and they come into Omaha for that care. And so it is a big part of the landscape in Omaha. In the Omaha Metro, in Bellevue specifically, we are home to Offutt Air Force Base, and so that is a big employer in Nebraska, and it brings a lot of people into the Omaha metro area and out, just like because folks in the military tend to move a lot, and so that is a big employer though in the Omaha metro area, and it has a big influence in the area. The weather in Nebraska is extreme. We experience all 4 seasons. The winters tend to be quite cold, especially in January and February. December can still be sometimes a little bit more palatable, but January and February tend to be very cold. We can get snow, we can get blizzards, a lot of ice storms, and then in the summer it is extremely hot, especially in July, August, and some of September. It can be very humid and just very, very hot, easily 100 degrees. Our spring and falls can be very pleasant, but they tend to be very short, and so overall, we do experience all 4 seasons, and which comes with pros and cons. It's awesome because we get the changing colors on the leaves and get the glorious tulips in the spring. But overall, it is the extreme of all 4 seasons. In the summer, we do get thunderstorms that blow through, and they can bring in lots of hail, which is very damaging for roofs. And we can also get tornadoes. This last spring in 2024, we had a tornado that blew through the Elkhorn area, which is on the western side of Omaha. Tornadoes are not necessarily common though. Like we can get them, but it is not something that happens every year. Omaha is very suburban. There are a lot of different neighborhoods throughout. So Omaha grew by annexing all these small towns that were up against Omaha. And so it has really grown into a sprawling metropolis. And as it's annexed in and brought in, kind of like adopted these smaller towns along the way. And so each of these small towns have had their own little cute little main streets that they have still maintained and are still adorable. So all of these suburban areas have these cute little main streets with like restaurants, boutiques, usually some hair salons, and that kind of help give all of these suburban areas a little bit more character and heart to them. I have other videos that look at specific neighborhoods in Omaha. If you're curious about specific neighborhoods, you should look up that video. The average commute time in Omaha is 21 minutes, and that is accounting for this kind of more suburban feel where people, a lot of businesses are midtown or downtown, and so then you're having to make that commute from the suburbs, and it can lead to that rush hour traffic during like 8 and 5. Even though people think, oh, Omaha's a smaller city, there probably isn't any rush hour traffic, but there definitely is, especially on the main drags on Interstate 80, which is a main way to get downtown, and then also on Dodge Street, which is a main corridor that goes east to west. We are heavily dependent on cars here in Omaha. It is not a walkable city at all. There is a bus system. It is not necessarily thorough. It is difficult. It doesn't enter into neighborhoods, and so you sometimes have to walk really far from within a neighborhood to even get to a bus stop, which is tricky for folks. So it is definitely a city where you're going to want to have a car. Homes are dominated by single family residences. This isn't a place that has a ton of townhomes or condos. There are some of that, don't get me wrong. If that's something that you're interested in, it's possible to find that. But overall, it is dominated by that single family residence. Because it is more of like a suburban city, that is what has led to more of the single family residence being the main option for owning a home. People in Nebraska are known for being Nebraska nice. That is a common term that people use all of the time. People are overwhelmingly very nice, very friendly, will love to introduce themselves and try to make you feel as welcome as possible into this area. The funny other side of that is that in Omaha, people are known for being incredibly passive aggressive drivers. And so people feel like there's like extreme road rage in Omaha, but then if you like meet these people in person, they're usually going to be very, very friendly and very nice. A lot of times people have lived here for generations, and so people tend to spend a lot of time with their families. In Omaha, that is a main draw for people to move to Omaha, is to be close to family. It's not necessarily a city of transplants like a lot of the cities on the coast are, where you kind of make your family by meeting people, and there is some of that definitely, and I would say in the more urban parts of Omaha that is more common and is becoming more common, especially as people move into Omaha from the small towns in Nebraska, seeking out better job opportunities. There is more of that feel of we're going to make a family and have a close-knit community of people that we're meeting because we aren't necessarily close to our family anymore. And so that is cool to see that change happening. It feels more of like a more urban, larger city feel with that change happening. But there is still that common theme of people spending a lot of time with their families because people have lived here for generations. And so their parents live here, their grandparents live here, and their kids live here. And so it's they spend a lot of time with their family. The downtown area in Omaha is being completely revitalized. There have been some major developments that have been taking place over the last 3 to 5 years that have really transformed downtown. People weren't really using downtown. People were coming here for conferences, and that was really the only time people were using it. It wasn't really being used by the people who actually live in Omaha, but now that has really changed. They completely remodeled a park downtown and have made it very family friendly, and it has like an outdoor concert venue, which is awesome for everyone. It's absolutely amazing to see the different transformations that are going on downtown, and it's making it much more of like a destination where people actually are spending a lot more time, which has been awesome to see people take advantage of our amazing downtown that we now have. And so Omaha just is really pouring some amazing resources into making this an incredible place to live and drawing in new talent and trying to stop brain drain from happening in the Omaha area. I don't know if you're familiar with what brain drain is, but it's when people get specific skills like through college, through further education, and then they feel like that their advanced skills aren't able to be used here, and so then they move away because their skills outpace what their opportunities are in a specific area. And so Omaha's trying to be able to keep talent here, and by offering great different things like different developments downtown, restaurants, reasons for people to stay, really. The Omaha Eppley Airfield is undergoing a major renovation right now, and this is very exciting. It's going to offer a lot more, well, not a lot more, but a few more direct flights. The airport is really easy to navigate, which is awesome, and there are quite a few direct flights, but if you're wanting to go somewhere a little bit more specific, you're going to have to take a connection, which is frustrating, and people voice their frustration about this a lot, but the airport is really easy to navigate. And so there are pros and cons to having a mid-size airport. As far as entertainment, there is a decent amount of entertainment in Omaha. There are some amazing restaurants with some world-renowned chefs here in Omaha, and people are always surprised once they start eating here to realize how many amazing food opportunities there are in Omaha, which is super cool. There are also a lot of golf courses in Omaha. People like to golf here, and in the summer that is a big pastime. And so there are city courses, and then there's also private country clubs, and people really tend to gravitate towards those and enjoy participating in golf in the restaurants with the golf courses and the pools and all of the different country club amenities. During the last presidential election, there was a lot of talk around the blue dot in the Omaha metro, and I think that's a good way to kind of describe Omaha. Nebraska is a red state. It tends to always vote red, but our electoral votes are split up in between our two districts, and so there is one for the Omaha metro, and that tends to vote blue. It tends to be a little bit more left-leaning in a pretty red state, as is common with most metropolis areas, and so it's fun to see people who are still able to be super friendly with one another and be great neighbors to one another. Omaha has pretty high property taxes, something I always like to talk about so people aren't surprised. It's anywhere between 2 to up to 3% of the assessed value of your home. Overall, Omaha is an amazing place to call home, and people who come here tend to absolutely love it, and they're surprised by all of the different opportunities that there are in Omaha. If you ever have any questions about Omaha, or if you're curious about buying a home in Omaha, I would love to connect with you. Please send me a text message at 402-720-9886, and I'd love to get that process started. Again, my name is Morgan Putnam, and I'm a realtor in the Omaha Metro.